Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. 'Cause I'm out of ninja songs. Those are the only two ninja songs I knew, obviously. So hopefully the thing actually saved, because I'm pretty sure I did. But oop. Hello everybody, how's it going? Just sitting here drinking blood. It's more or less what it looks like. But hello Phoenix, hello BimicU, hello Sivia. Hope you're all having a good night. Welcome to Strim. Things actually all the way up. I'm pretty sure I pressed the buttons, but just in case. Reminiscence Middle. So, from what I recall, Gumshoe was accused of murder from a guy that was murdered inside the building, and he was guarding. There's something he's hiding. We got both Karmas here. All three Karmas, really. No, I'm not. Wearing glasses. That was my alter ego. Glasses Mage, really. Yeah, he works at the newspaper place. I forget the name of it. The Daily Bugle. You get a bugle a day. Did I do the thing with the world record? You mean submit it? Yes, it is. Let me move this cup of water out of my way. It is submitted, but it has not been accepted yet. No, Glasses Mage is worse, really. If it wasn't for the fact that I was going to sit here and read, I wouldn't be wearing them. But they probably help. This guy back here is my favorite card. He is having the time of his life with this water. Like, there's a murder happening, but he knows what is really important, and it is fixing this water fountain. Sir, what is to become of the trial in the Colombian Embassy staff member's murder? Indeed. As both the suspect and the prosecutor are now dead, snap! The case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely. Heh, looks like you'll have to wait just a bit longer for your debut. Did what? I probably did say Colombian. Is chat included? Chat is included because, I have this thing, like, over on that side. My things flip for you guys, so different direction. But the chat is on the video. So what I did is I highlighted the video, because Sivia showed me how. And you go from the beginning of that run to the end of that run, which was also the end of the stream. And I just put it as a separate YouTube video and gave them the link to the YouTube video. So sorry for squeak. Thanks for the auto host, Sivia, with 4 viewers. How'd you do that? How many people? Sorry, Mimikyu, but now you are a world record. Well, you're in the world record chat, so hope you enjoy that. Yeah, I wonder who they are. I suppose it can't be helped. The evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in a little while. Why? Sir, what do you think about the murder of a Cadopian embassy staff member? And the murderers Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. What an outrageous circus it has all become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivety. An outrageous circus, right, sir? I grow weary of this topic. Edgeworth, I will have you assigned to a different case. You can tell by my grin that it's something diabolical. Papa, you come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you? I'll consider it. Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue with my investigation. Whatever for? I know there's already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. However, there is not enough evidence to prove that it was he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt. The perfect proof? Don't make me laugh. A worthless person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection. Why is he worthless? He's done nothing. Papa, who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Well, it's not me this time. Miles and I were competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate the real crime scene is a really rare opportunity. It would give us some real-life experience, wouldn't you agree? If you want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish. Then you are allowing us to continue. In court, your top priority is to win, and solid investigation is one of the keys to winning. They're all in this room. We have to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we? And you know, tell all the defense lawyers to not get involved in any investigation at all. Wouldn't be very interesting otherwise. I'm returning home now. Edgeworth, Francisca. See that I'm not disturbed. Save for the results of your competition. Yes, sir. Of course, Papa. Little Francisca is adorable. Francisca, thank you. What are you thanking me for? I'm going to crush you into the dirt! I mean, your logic earlier was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means the competition is still on. Yes, just as you wished. I couldn't let you get off so easily. Now then, let's see how you found the investigation from here, Miles Edgeworth. That I have enough information yet. And so my first order of business will be to question anyone involved with this case, especially that guy at the water fountain. He obviously knows everything. Oh, she's our partner. That's adorable. I mean, she didn't seem like the type to care about her father, or at the very least, she doesn't seem to care that he's dead. You know, can't really blame her. I can't stop the water, sir! Seems that the man who was here earlier broke it by drinking from it too much. Bunch of fools who pretend to not see the foolish actions of a foolish fool. Well then, why don't you try to lend Officer a hand? As if I should do anything to do with this. Besides, that water-drinking fool's mouth is the thing that officer should be covering. Let's give that officer a description of the water guzzler later. She seems to have quite the grudge. Sounds to me like someone wanted a drink. What are you looking at? Wow, this thing is so incredibly detailed. My inner modeling fanboy is impressed. Not exactly a fan of plastic models per se, but even I can sense the superb quality of this model. I simply cannot comprehend how a man can feel so much love for such a trifle. Oh, I see. You're a disciple of my father, so you should do well to guard yourself from against interests in such unproductive things. Yes, perhaps I should take up whipping people like this young lady over here. I'll get to Gumshoe later. Sir, nothing to report, sir. Nightmare in Dreamland is the best. There's no one who will make his man take responsibility for his action on the job. Looks like we have no choice but to report this to Papa. Then this car can have fun walking an waking nightmare after being awakened from his dream. Actually, let's not. I kind of feel sorry for him now. What do you have to say? I know he's a zombie. What's the matter, officer? I've been standing here forever, sir, and I really need to go to the bathroom. Why don't you just make a quick trip? The nearest one isn't that far, is it? No, it's a short way down the hall beyond these doors, but I don't want to be blamed for anything that might happen while I'm gone. So I'm gonna hold it. Perhaps Detective Gumshoe can be a positive influence on the force after all. Hello, OP. Hope you're having a good night. Wasn't me, I tell you. I didn't do anything wrong. Yes, I understand. So let's calm down, okay, buddy? I doubt I can use the detective while he is this agitated. Yeah, so I only have to talk to you. Why are the other people even here? Miss you? Miss me? Why do you miss me? Oh, it's you, Edgeworth. And who are you again? I don't know. Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you? You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am. I am Francisca von Karma. I am about to become the successor to the family name. About to? I guess that means for now you'll just be another kid. In which case, the only natural I didn't know who you are. Thank you for the auto host, Archie. Why are you whipping me? Anyway, it looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. There's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting. Terribly sorry, but I have a few more questions to ask of Miss Yu. laughing way too much. Look at you with your eyebrows scrunched and lines in your forehead. No, terrible voice actor. I did want to do like more voices, but I don't know how to do that. And also, hello, Blood Silver. Hope you're having a good day. I can do to ask of you, beep, beep, beep. But that's hard to do, and also it sounds terrible. To ask of you.
What exactly is so funny?
Sorry, I'm just bad at dealing with the super serious atmosphere.
Apparently, they failed to teach you proper behavior at a crime scene in law school.
Phew, I feel much better now. So what does he want to talk? I hope she doesn't die. Like, as much as I don't like how she keeps laughing at us, it's like, I don't think we ever meet her. Then again, I guess she doesn't work for, what's his name? What's his name? Grossberg? I think that's his name. Yeah, I didn't think she had a high voice, but I think it's Grossberg, right? Also, hello, Sanosuke. Also, you're really not late. I've been live for like 14 minutes, so you're pretty early.
I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder.
We were in defendant lobby number 1 the whole time until we heard the gunshot. And by we, I mean Mr. Bad. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself.
You were with Detective Bad? Why?
We had a little something to discuss, that's all.
Like the scent of fresh linen, you see.
Yeah.
So I take it that you were acquaintances with Detective Bad?
Yeah, he was the detective in charge of the KG-8 incident.
So Detective Bad is also related to that incident?
That's right. He was the one who was supposed to protect my sister, Cece. You know he turned out, don't you, Edgeworth? Miles Edgeworth, I have no idea what you two are talking about. I've heard of the KG-8 incident from my papa. But how does that case relate to you, Miss Yu? Victim of that case was CCU, my little sister. Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, oh, that guy's frozen in the background.
Making that super serious face again. I'm fine, really. I just make a point to rub in some more salt in his wound pride every time I see him.
The way she talks about doing that as she laughs away is kind of creepy.
Kind of nice to get some insight on how even this past Edgeworth thought. It's like, he's kind of a jerk when you first meet him with Phoenix, but it's clear he was still the same person deep down. He just needed Phoenix to remind him. Oh, speaking of Mr. Bad, he and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they met up just about every single time the Yatagarasu made a move. It was practically a given that the two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes.
I see. You did mention that he was in charge of the Yatagarasu investigation earlier.
Maybe I should ask her what she knows about the Yatagarasu in more detail.
Know that she's going to be a little girl.
You claim that at the time of the murder you were Detective Bad. But don't you lawyers usually discuss the trial with your clients during recess? We do what we want. We do, and that's what I was planning to do. But you know, then he kind of died. Oh wait, no, Mr. Faraday did. But Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening, and he dragged Mr. Rail away. After that, Mr. Bad came to lobby number 1, so we just stayed there and talked.
And what did you talk with Detective Bad about?
Nothing interesting. I just insulted him some. Talked about how the trial was going, and then I insulted him some more. I called him a... I can't think of the word. A Cinderella.
Bloody. When she's not laughing, her mouth seemingly spews nothing but insults.
Anyway, Mr. Bad and I were in defendant lobby number 1 when the murders occurred, so I really can't tell you anything about the hallway or lobby number 2.
I see.
I'm giving her the best accent I can, but she also hasn't been in Germany that long. Yet.
I'd like to ask you a few more questions about your client, Mr. Mackerel.
Is he actually a man in a fish suit? Or is he a fish in a man suit? Or is it both? Is he a man in a fish suit that's in another man suit?
And also, your client claimed to be the first Yatagarasu. Is that correct?
Yeah. Once I heard that it was the Yatagarasu made off with the evidence from KG-8, I began to ask Mr. Rail all sorts of questions, but no avail. Turns out Mr. Rail was not the Yatagarasu. He had just made that up. Mr. Rail's crime was caught on the tape by the security cameras, but there's no footage of him sneaking into the Cadopian embassy itself.
Hold on for just 1 second. Then you mean to say that you knew he was not in the real Yatagarasu, and that he was just another cold-blooded killer, and you were ready to defend him? Yes, that's right. Thing is, I believe that she would talk more like this than a German, unless this is considered a German accent. I don't know. But I don't really know how to do Germany accents. Or any accents, really.
I see. So the defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job is to cover for criminals.
That's why the defense lawyers are so detestable. They're no match for us Von Karmas. I don't believe it. You're serious. Why don't you save that face for something really worth being serious about? Edward, do remember what I said earlier. I have my own agenda. Why is that funny? I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG8 incident, alright?
And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending the unknown killer?
If you say so. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. Only way I had to get close to Mr. Rill, Mr. Mackerel, was to be his lawyer. That or go down to the fish cellar down the street, but that's a different time. I had no intention of covering for him either, so don't you dare suggest I was going to.
I'm sorry. Forgive my rashness. Miss Yu, I was wondering if you could tell me about the Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu, huh? I don't really know much about that character myself. I do get a lot of consolation requests from companies to defend them.
Requests from companies?
The Yatagarasu is someone petty thief out for money, you know. Alright then, perhaps the Yatagarasu is in the business for stealing people's lives. You're not very funny or witty, are you, little Miss Von Karma?
Franziska, be careful about who you whip. Choose carefully with me. Oh no!
There, I chose carefully, just like you wanted. That was hilarious, little missy. Of course it was.
What's wrong with these two women? Why does my pain give them delight?
So, in the end, what is the Yatagarasu? I have to say I never heard of this thief when I was in Germany. Yatagarasu deals in information. Namely digging out dirt in black... Oh, I thought I said black room. Like what? Backroom dealings and the like of companies. Yatagarasu is a vigilante who steals such info and makes it public for all to see. Vigilante or not, this person sounds like just another criminal to me. I suppose you could put it that way too. But either way, I get a lot more clients now, thanks to that thief.
Sounds like Miss Yu is profiting nicely. I suppose I've gotten all I can out of Miss Yu. Let's speak on with Detective Gumshoe now. He's probably calmed down. Oh, he actually did calm down. I expected him to still be yelling until we walked up. Detective Gumshoe.
Hey, it's you, pal. You're here. Ow! As am I.
I don't think you'll need to whip him to let him know that.
I didn't do it, pal. Then swear on my honor as a detective. I'll start calling you sir in a couple years. But I really didn't do it.
Your words are useless. I place my trust only in the evidence, Detective. Once the investigation is fully over and we should find out that you were the killer, there will be no mercy to had for you.
Have a heart, pal.
Well, you're not worried, right?
I'm plenty worried, pal.
After all, you have nothing to worry about if you really are innocent, that is.
Hey, that's right, pal. Hey, pal, go on and do your imperfect investigation. Get the real killer for me, will ya?
I would have done so if you had not requested me to do so, Detective.
It's weird that we don't have to present anything, at least so far.
So you and Mr. Faraday had a small meeting last week, did you? And what exactly did you make him so angry?
I just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out he was mad at me because on my very first day as a detective, I reported in my usual post instead of the Criminal Affairs Department. At the time I got down to the Criminal Affairs, I was really, really late.
Gumshoe reconnected with Franziska years later?
I think he knew who she was when she showed up, right? That's when he gave me the huge speech. I remember doing the same exact thing in elementary school. On the first day of school every year, I'd always wind up going to my old classroom.
How pathetic for the detective to be compared to a mere school child.
Also, that surprises me. That doesn't really seem like something she would do.
You claimed to be standing guard in front of the door to lobby number 2 during the recess. Wait, Phoenix? No, Gumshoe meets Francisca and all that. They meet her in the courtroom. However, when did you receive the order to do so, and from whom? Earlier around 3:20 from Detective Bad, pal. Today's trial really took a crazy turn, so I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday. And you know, we kind of put him in a room with a murderer all alone. That was kind of dumb, but just following orders. And yet something did happen to him, correct? Looks like it was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard duty. Is she insinuating he has manpower? Al! Your words sting way more than that whip. Yep. Sting worse than your whip, pal. So it was Detective Bad who ordered him to stand guard, huh? Now then, Detective Gumshoe. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me? Nope. Not a thing, pal. In that case, allow us to take a look at what you were carrying on your personage. Ah! Wait, you can't do that. I only got one of these jackets right now. There's nothing of any particular value here. Well, my handcuffs and my badge were confiscated by Detective Bad, so you know. And you know, my gun, I guess. What is that open envelopes I see sticking out of your coat pocket? Ah! Hands off, pal! Just show it to us already. Yeah. Annual bonus check within 5 total, except there's no check inside. Yeah, dear luck, now give it back, pal. It's my first bonus as a brand new detective. It's got it and cashed it today. I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know? That's how cash works, yeah? The envelope was really special to me. Give it back. You'll need rubbish like this. Don't worry, we'll throw it away for you later. How could you? But why is it empty? I'm sorry, but I need to take him in for questioning now. I think I've asked him just about everything I needed to. No, wait. Since he became a suspect, there's one piece of evidence I should be confirmed. Officer, I ask you, wait a second. There's one thing I'd like to be confirmed with Detective Gumshoe. Understood, sir, but please make it brief, sir. I was gonna walk over here now. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Must confirm whether or not his testimony about when the crime occurred is the truth. It's a bookshelf. What is this? Judge's Trial Exchange Log? Appears to be a journal where various judges share their thoughts and ideas. The real daily lives of the judges are laid out here on these pages. There's nothing about the court in here. It's just a page after page of unrelated drivel. Judging by the content, they are enthusiastic about the courthouse's daily menu. And it would appear that the fried oysters are a favorite. I have no use for such foolishly foolish words from a foolishly foolish crowd of judges. Someone please assure me that this is not the true state of the country's... I don't know how to say that word. Can I examine this too? Oh, okay. Wait, what? This is a different line. Heard that it costs as much to make that as it costs to build the courthouse itself. That is an expensive model. What was the point of making such an expensive model? I felt the exact same way upon hearing it. Ah, so hard to understand such foolishness. Agreed. So, can I talk to him, or... There we go. Alright, I need to actually review these, because, let's see. Judiciary? On the gunshot, didn't hear a sign of a struggle. You told me earlier that you had no sound other than the gunshot out in the hallway. Is that correct? No mistake about it, pal. Then you are also claiming that no one passed through the hallway either. Is that also correct? Yep, not even a single ant passed through the hallway while I was on duty. You do realize that the lie you were telling is only making life more difficult for yourself. Huh? Oh, but it's true. I didn't see anyone go through the hallway, and I didn't hear anything else, pal. But the killer found a way to kill the two guys beyond what even I can imagine. Though he intends to continue telling his ridiculous lie. Why would he do so, given the situation he's in? I believe a thorough investigation of the hallway in front of the defendant's lobbies is in order. Thing is, I'm pretty sure she was in the hallway. Ah, you! And she probably stole his money. Whoa. Why? How could you not notice that coming?
Maybe that little spike in his hair when he's older? In the front, definitely. Wasn't that the child I changed money for earlier? Thanks, that's exactly what I needed. All the time in the world. Kids can sometimes be so cruel. Looks like she dropped something. A Swiss roll? Maybe we should arrest the girl. She might turn out to be a valuable lead. I believe some sort of punishment may need to be dealt the next time we meet. Unless it's me being kidnapped and she lets us out. Either stole his money or gave him the puppy dog eyes and he's like, ah, alright, pal, you can have this dollar. Get yourself some candy. He's a good guy. I believe I've asked all that I need of this man. Now for the Detective Bad and the judge. We have to confirm who is correct, the judge or the scruff face, right? I suppose we should inspect the hallway for the lobby number 2 next. I suppose so. Shall we head on over, Francisca? I don't know why we're working together when we're supposed to be competing, and I'm gonna walk past you. It's so weird seeing the judge's, like, lower half.
So, do you see anything else?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I see. Well, thanks for your cooperation.
Oh, it's nothing. Just doing my duty as a defender of the law. Walk past you.
That'll be all for now. I'll ask you if I have any other questions.
Anytime, detective. Now, if you excuse me, I have a few loose ends I have to tie up. Oh, you're that new prosecutor Mr. Von Kammer recommended, correct?
My name is Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor.
And I am Francisca Von Kammer, Manfred Von Kammer's daughter. There are 2 judges that I'm aware of. It's always this judge, or the Canadian one, and they're apparently brothers, so they're apparently both Canadian. Sorry, I had to cough. I'm set to become the successor to my genius father any day now, Your Honor. Ack! I bit my tongue.
Are you alright, Your Honor?
Please feel free to refer to me as just Miss Von Kammer, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine.
Apparently someone doesn't feel I'm worthy of a proper title.
Oh, Million. I just call you Mr. Kammer and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. My tongue is really hurt, though.
Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth is fine, sir. Now about your earlier testimony.
Yeah? What about it, Mr. Edgeworth? My tongue's fine now.
I would like to ask you a few questions about what exactly you saw.
Alright. It's my duty to clarify the testimony as a defender of the law.
I greatly appreciate your cooperation, Your Honor.
And how are they not both Canadian if, you know, they're brothers? Pretty sure that's how being a brother works. Kind of come from the same place. Unless they're adopted, but I don't know. Now, the first thing I need to figure out is the detective's exact movements. Logic! I want to investigate this first. Doesn't look like there's anything contradictory left in this area. I suppose not. Perhaps I should check out somewhere else.
Did you find something, officer?
I think there's a $5 bill back there. Come on, just a little more. I said no one working on the crime scene isn't a total waste of living tissue.
Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a single person we can deem useful here.
The judge is right there. If they're half-brothers, then yeah, totally, but we don't get any insight on that. They just says, oh, that's my brother, as far as I know.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Where were you at the time of the murder?
Do you suspect me of something?
No, nothing of the sort, Your Honor.
Very well, I apparently brought my gavel with me.
You may continue on your testimony. Your Honor, it's your testimony I'm after.
Oh, right, sorry. I had no idea you were chasing after me or my testimony.
Beginning to sense that I might want to avoid being in the trial run by this judge.
Well, sorry to burst your bubble, Edgeworth.
Let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? I wish I could do better voices. When you get to be my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom. If you go take a look through the window at the end of this hall, you'll see a small window. That's the window of the men's restroom. What is with the ants? Were those ants always there? That's a lot of ants. In other words, you can see clearly in the hallway from the men's restroom. When I was going to the restroom, that detective, Gumshoe, is it? Well, he was standing in front of the vending machines buying something from it. However, and this I couldn't believe, when I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore. Your Honor, could you please calm down and explain to me rationally? Oh, I'm really sorry. Please let me regain my composure. That was really suspicious. That's what finally honed Judge's intuition said. Though, well, until the murders occurred, I just kind of brushed it off. Oh, apparently this judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm. That's probably all I'm going to find from His Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, may I return to my other duties now? Yes, I'm sorry to have held you up. Thank you for your cooperation, Your Honor. Anytime, Mr. Edgeworth, anytime. The judges in this country seem rather friendly. Yes, if not a little wishy-washy. However, I hear that they are known to hand down very fair verdicts. That's good. His thinking gavel. So Gumshoe dropped his money and probably bent down or something? What's with these ants? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. What is this? It's a pink-colored piece of trash made of rubber. I feel like I've seen something like this before. It's a piece of garbage. But you know, the fact that there's litter running loose in this courthouse, it's simply unforgivable. Don't whip the... It's not like it was I who littered. Rubbish belongs in a rubbish bin. That includes you, apparently. I am surprised he does not take that from her, but at the same time, he probably knows better. The ants are hard at work carrying the food home. The marvel that they can pick up such comparatively large objects to their size. Well, if you want to carry the mighty Von Common name and not be squished under it, you better work extra hard, just like these ants. The same goes for you, Francisca. Same goes for you. What's the matter? I pricked myself on one of the cactus needles. Why'd I touch it? I didn't think the needles on this thing would be so sharp. Well, what did you expect? Can you imagine how bad it would be if you were hit on the head by one of these? Anyway, this cactus seems to be unrelated to our case. Do you really think so? Because I believe that this cactus sitting on the windowsill is completely related. Now, is that actually going to be used, or is he just putting that in there to rub it in Francisca's face at some point? Oh, well, I look forward to your explanation on how exactly it is related. So that window on the other side belongs to the men's room. I can't see it. At your height, I'm not surprised. Did you just call me short? I guess short people have feelings too. Wow, rude. Short people do have feelings too. What does that mean? A handprint. The dirt on this bench just smells like some sort of sweet substance. I can't believe there's someone going around dirtying the courthouse. For shame. Calm down, Francisca. Now take a good look. Doesn't this smudge look kind of like a handprint to you? I suppose it could be. Which means that perhaps we can lift prints off the person who sullied this bench. Ah, I see. And then we'll know the identity of our mysterious slob. You there, the lab technician. Could you please find out what this handprint belongs to? Sir. Yes, sir. I got the results of the fingerprints analysis, sir. All I did was put my hand on there and was like, yeah, that's my hand. And do we know who they belong to? Sir, the fingerprints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Yep, I figured. Oh, interesting. Good work, officer. Thank you, sir. Now I'm going to go get that $5 bill under there.
And there you have it.
Yes, I suppose so.
Now we know the identity of the person who dirtied the bench.
I sense that you and I will be using this information in very different ways. So he leaned down, I guess.
What are these black speckles?
I believe is a pile of ants, eating away.
Oh, that detective. He claims not a single ant slipped by him, but here he has a whole horde. A whole hill of them.
Ugh, why me?
What are you hitting me for? As a replacement for that pathetic detective. Don't worry, I'll hit him later.
Perhaps I should add this deduction to the detective's growing tab of pay cuts.
Anyway, I wonder what the ants are eating.
From the look and sweet smell of it, pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll.
Miles Edgeworth, the courthouse is to be kept pristine at all times.
It wasn't me that dropped food on the ground.
The courthouse must be kept clean.
Ow. As I'm pouring out the hole in this bench as well. Wonder if the inside of this bench consists of nothing but ants.
Don't you dare continue with that gross line of thought.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
A horde of ants? Why? Did I get everything here? No, I don't think I examined these bars. Only the bars are not important.
Yes, short people have feelings too.
So rude, Edward. Okay, we might need something from Bad first. Although I'm pretty sure Swiss roll and the pink rubber is probably related. Maybe? Courthouse special. Why do they have their courthouse-specific Swiss roll?
Courthouse special Swiss rolls being sold in the premise.
I don't recall a restaurant of any sort in this courthouse.
Somehow doubt you'll find junk food on this on the restaurant menu, Francisca.
Well then where do they sell these things,
At a convenience store, I suppose.
Well then I'm sure there's no convenience store in this courthouse, Miles Edgeworth.
Where in the world does this come from?
Is it open? Doesn't seem to be.
Have you found any suspicious fingerprints, officer?
Nope, just fingerprints of those involved in the case, sir. I guess we know of all the players in this case then.
It would appear that way, but I have the nagging feeling we're missing something. I suspect what we're missing is hiding right here in this crime scene somewhere. It's the judge! He's injustice.
Making the most ridiculous looking face.
Maybe, but at least she doesn't look like someone who would tell a lie on purpose.
I suppose, but up to a Von Karma, evidence is the only thing that carries any weight.
Of course. At any rate, this poster seems to be of no use to us right now.
What do you mean right now? Not gonna be used to us later?
No signs of the fire extinguisher used in this crime.
If you could already tell from the distance, why are you wasting your time examining it?
Francisca, let's not rush absolute genius. He says, looking at the camera. What are you doing?
It appears that this vending machine sells snacks and various other foods. Alright, that's what I was missing. Am I gonna examine every nook and cranny?
Just lovely. What do you think of next?
Don't be a jerk in this court. Like the beef jerks. 1 packet for $9. Defendant's fresh milk. 1/2 pint for $7. Stay neutral as a Swiss do until the end of these. For $6. They're awfully overpriced.
The lineup is awful, period.
Speaking of snacks, I wonder if the Swiss roll the little girl drops is from this machine.
I was wondering about that myself.
How did he afford the Swiss roll if he only had $5? Unless he took the dollar from the little girl. Which means that she went there to give him the dollar, I guess? Stay neutral until as the Swiss do until the end of these.
I assume it means the end of the trial. I suppose this means that one should eat these during recess?
You can't eat during a trial, so I suppose the only time you can eat them is now, huh?
I wouldn't mind if you wanted to eat one now. They come in packs of 2 after all.
Oh, I see. We're in the middle of the investigation. Besides, I don't have $6 on me. If you want, we can pool our money. and buy a pack together. If I have to split it with you, then I don't want it. Wow, harsh. So it came with a pack of 2. But it only takes dollars by the looks of it. Credit card accepted. Don't let the prosecution and the defense make a ham sandwich out of you. What? It sounds like it's directed at that ham of a judge. Well, it certainly isn't directed at me. I can outmaneuver him any day. Don't be a jerk in the court like these beef jerks. Objection! Miles Edgeworth, shouldn't you agree that it's a very clever pun? Do you really think they put that much effort into the product name? Even a foolish fool can understand the foolish thinking of a fool who made it up. You're acting so foolishly that I got thoroughly mad, and now I'm utterly famished. If you wanted a pack of all these, all you do is ask like a normal person. When you're in hot water, you might need a hot dog. What? Looks like this slogan was decided through public contest. And the winner was Prosecutor Winston Payne. Okay. I slightly expected Larry Butts. That seems like something he would say. What a pathetic slogan. No presents at all. Now, if it was up to me, it would read, if you leave matters to Yvonne Karma's hands, everyone in the court will be found guilty dogs. Objection! Objection! Overruled. Wow. When it's looking bad, blind your opposition with the Moj. Are they promoting violence? Do not worry, my whip will make sure that anyone following this advice won't be for long. Except for me, you know, the person not following this advice. Or I am following some. Compared to the sting of a whip, the sting of orange juice might not be so bad. Anything else I need to examine? No way I can examine this. Well, I think I examined all the food. Thank you for correcting yourself. Can't examine the trash. Detective Bad, I have something I wish to inquire about. If it's about how I got my beard like this. Too bad. You can't even grow one. Hey, how about doing some actual work, you? I wish to inquire about Detective Gumshoe's movements during the recess. You're getting in the way of the investigation. I have an order from Mr. Von Karma himself. Plus, I still hold investigation authority. So I hear you were the one who called for Detective Gumshoe to come down here. Faraday, that guy was just accused, you know? I just knew something was gonna happen. My detective's instinct told me. A lot of good it did you. You couldn't even protect one lone prosecutor with it. Hold it. Francisca, I think you need to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry, Detective. Please continue. I used the phone on the first floor and called the pretty person. I told him to send somebody over, and that detective's the one that showed up. And only upon his arrival did you set Detective Gumshoe to send guard Detective Bad? Yeah, I waited for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to the defense lobbies together. Had my hands in my pocket. As we entered this hallway, we ran into you. Me? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. No, not you. I mean you. She told us that Faraday was really mad. That he dragged Rail off to lobby number 2 to have a word or something. And that Faraday had said to not let anyone interrupt him. So what choice did I have? All I could do was tell the big lug to stand guard outside. Yeah, you got it, pal. And around what time did that take place? Let's see, I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. After giving the big lug his assignment, he never left the hallway, not once. Oh, and how can you make such a claim? One of the guards out this floor's main lobby swore to me he did. The detective never left the hallway, then where did he disappear off to? That's simple. He must have gone to lobby number 2, just as I suspected. You and I, we were in lobby number 1 next door. Only one without an alibi is Gumshoe. seem that I'm still missing some key pieces of information. And thanks, Blood Silver. Detective Bad, you also heard the gunshot, did you not? Yeah. I heard it when I was defending lobby number 1. That's why I came running towards lobby number 2 together with you. How much time elapsed between hearing the gunshot and your arrival on the scene? Less than a minute, more than a second. What were your movements upon hearing the gunshot? I grabbed the big lug, he was just walking around the hall. Raced to lobby number 2. That's when we discovered the bodies, in that order. That makes you the discoverer of the crime scene, right? Yeah, I guess it does, little miss. I'm about to become a prosecutor very soon. You will treat me with the dignity I deserve, or else. Whoa. Yeah, you wave that little thing around anymore? Now I'll have you arrested for obstruction, little miss. You wouldn't dare. Haha. Wouldn't I? But I'm just joking. Detective Bad is really something if we make Francisca behave. Are we about done here? Anything else I should ask him about? I don't know which one he's already answered. Situation? I mean, time is also important. Oh, that's time first. I'd like for you to tell me exactly what time you heard the gunshot. It was around the end of recess, and the trial was about to start again, I think. He was supposed to make time for himself to transfer the evidence he was holding. But I got the sense he wasn't gonna show for the handoff. So I figured I should go get him, or he'd be late. Just as I thought. Bang. Sound the gunshot hit my eardrums. So we heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to restart. Are we done here? I don't have any time to waste. Hold it. Oh, come on. All you're doing is standing in front of this door doing nothing. You had a point. Get the sense that he's someone investigating this crime scene himself. Rather that he's keeping us under surveillance. But to what end? Detective Bad, may I ask you to cooperate with us just a bit longer? I don't have anything else to say for the two of you. You guys were the ones who said you wanted to investigate in the first place. Fine then, be obstinate. Will you do as you please? Come on, Miles. You may no longer be willing to help us. However, may I ask for the forensic science cooperation? Do as you like. I don't really control that guy. Kind of wondering if I can... Okay. Situation around the gunshot. I'd like to know more about the circumstances under which you heard the gunshot. Like I said, I was in lobby number 1 with you. I have nothing else to add. Testimony certainly corroborates what Miss Hughes said. Miles, you already asked him about that, remember? Was I just asked about something else? So was the time thing the only one that really mattered? Detective Bad, what were you doing when you heard the gunshot? How many times are you going to ask that? I was in defendant lobby number 1 when I heard the gunshot. Okay, that one did seem like one I already knew. Now get out of here. You're getting in the way. I'm not through questioning yet. But I am. Speed on through this one because I already did it. I guess I picked the right one the first time. Do I have anything I can present to him? Swiss roll? You want a Swiss roll? Detective Bad, I'd like to ask you about this piece of evidence. I got no interest in Swiss rolls. What a narcissist. He'd rather look at his face than the evidence. Don't trust your eyes all the time, little girl. I'm looking at it through the mirror. I can see the evidence. I'm keeping an eye on the two of you with this mirror. What? Then why didn't you answer? Because I've got nothing to say. That's all. Understood. Why couldn't he have just said that at the beginning? I've shown him my badge.
Does showing that off make you feel like a big, strong prosecutor? Of course not. I was simply proving my title of prosecutor to you. I see. Most prosecutors don't go around flaunting those things around. Like a detective walking around outside with his badge flashing in the sunlight. Show that off too much, and before you know it, you'll be elbow deep in angry criminals. That would definitely be a problem, I guess. Yeah. What do you think about this? He doesn't care about Detective Gumshoe's bonus. Alright, let's think about this logically for a second. Vending machine. Oh, that's the balloon. These bits of chocolate and cake, could they not have come from a Swiss roll? A Swiss roll? Why would a courthouse sell a thing like that? We just talked about this, didn't we? It may not seem like the right venue, however, it is being sold right over there. We just talked about it. The vending machine? Ah, I see. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. Talk about expensive. Leaving the fact that it's on the expensive side aside, the fact that the cake crumbs and the chocolate bits were found in this hallway suggests that they came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this machine. I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened here now. Naturally, after all, I'm here, aren't I? Detective Gumshoe must have sat on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll. And as he ate, he dropped it on the floor and sullied the bench. That's a pretty good picture. How could he not have cleaned up after himself? How utterly despicable. Don't you dare whip me again. It wasn't I who made this mess in the first place. Anyway, if it was indeed Detective Gumshoe who brought the Swiss roll, that creates a rather interesting contradiction of the facts. A contradiction? Where? I think another look at the special courthouse vending machine is in order. The cactus actually is important. It popped her balloon, which is the gunshot they heard. But then how did these guys die? A silenced pistol? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Eureka! About Detective Gumshoe's finances, he said until this morning he didn't have even a single penny on his personage. Just how poor is that guy? If his bonus really was only $5, then he should not have been able to purchase the pack of Swiss rolls. However, the facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor. Meaning Scruffy must have bought a pack somehow. Indeed. That detective should not have been able to purchase the pack, and yet he did. The question is, how? Can I actually do it? I feel like I'd have to know about the balloon first, but... Oh, okay. This pink rubbery substance, I saw this in a different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of pop balloon. I suppose that's possible. The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend on the windowsill cactus. That would be a logical conclusion, yes. You proved the cactus was important. Way to go, Miles. Investigation complete. My health restored. I believe I now have a very firm grasp on what happened here. Ah, well, I do too. The cactus is the murder weapon. Alright, Francisco, would you care to share what conclusions you've come to? But why should I do that? We're in the middle of a competition, you know. We should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong first, so you go ahead. Almost cute that she's going this far to ensure that she wins. Almost. No, it is pretty cute. Very well, but we need to first pay his honor a visit to correct his testimony. Hello, Your Honor. I guess we're just here now. It's weird seeing the courtroom like this. It's really weird. Oh geez, dramatic music. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up. Do you doubt me? Am I your new suspect? In a sense, I suppose you could say that. Even you, a judge, is nothing but a common witness for Von Karma. Silence in the courtroom! Silence, I said! My gavel says silence. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred Von Karma. You bit your tongue again, didn't you? Ahem. As a defense lawyer, can never give false testimony. Yeah, that's pretty true. He probably deals with that every day. Well, every day she's not in Germany. You can't even face me on your oath if you want. Very well then, your testimony if you please. Need the judge's testimony, that's weird. During your recess, went to your courtroom or the restroom? I was already in the courtroom. There's a window in the hallway side, and then there was I could see in the hallway. And I saw a detective buying something in the building in the vending machines. I was about to exit the restroom and he completely disappeared. Detective that goes missing while on duty? That sounds mighty suspicious to me. Why do you have to stress the me? Your Honor, can you please try to remain calm? Oh. I'm so used to simply listening to testimonies I got caught up in the excitement. Sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm going to spoil your fun now. He bit his tongue. He has the tongue for that. The restroom. Why'd you go to the restroom? Hold it. Your Honor, why exactly did you pay a visit to the restroom, if I may ask? Whoa! Isn't it obvious? So why else do you go to the restroom for? Or maybe, I knew it. You suspect me of some sort of tomfoolery, don't you? Please stay calm, Your Honor. It's going to be much harder than I anticipated. I'm sorry. You're right, I need to think things through with a level head. I wouldn't know. Never bite my tongue. I'm just so nervous because so much happened today with this trial. Let's see, I announced the recess. Time for us to reconvene. Having done all that, I still wasn't able to go to the restroom right away. And why couldn't you? Mr. Faraday had been accused, so I had paperwork to process regarding a new prosecutor. That's fair. Once I had finished that, I was finally able to make a mad dash to the restroom. Because I'm a robot? Oh no! I'm not a robot. Hello, Toby. How's it going? Hope you're having a good night. Easy, stay consistent in going to the restroom part of the testimony. I don't care about that one.
Hold it!
Hold it! Are you sure that the person you witnessed was Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor? Yes, I'm absolutely sure. It's hard to miss someone with his stature, even from far away as a restroom. That's a fair thing to say. Also, it's weird they put a window, like, right there. In a bathroom? That's weird. Besides, I can't think of anyone else with that kind of hairstyle and big beige coat. Do you think he'd look better in a green one? Well, I was simply wondering if you were mistaken what you saw. What? Preposterous! My eyes are sharp as can be, ready to see through the lies to the truth. Although recently things do seem to be a bit fuzzier than they used to be. Clearly his eyes are not the only things that have gone fuzzy. If it has stalls, yeah. I guess we haven't seen inside. If it's like only beside the sink, then it's probably okay, but still. That's weird. I am not mistaken in what I saw. I'm about to exit the restroom and he completely disappeared.
Hold it!
He disappeared, but Your Honor, didn't you just say? I saw the detective buying something from the vending machine. Why yes I did! The restroom window looks over the courtyard and right to the hallway. But just as I was about to exit, I took another look and there was no one in sight. That led me to the only solution to this mystery. Detective must have gone to the crime scene, lobby number 2 at some point. Why did he have to stress? Through the hallway of the restroom over the courtyard, did he? I have an idea of what he did. Why is he stressing his words like that? I don't recall that being one of his quirks. Your Honor, I must ask that you please remain calm. No, I'm perfectly calm. Look, I have 2 hands. I'm gonna hit one with a gavel. You're being anything but perfectly calm. It appears that His Honor could not have been mistaken in what he saw. I suppose so, given his line of sight. However, Francisco, why do you suppose our lines of sight are so different? If you're referring to my height... Can't you hold that whip for just a second? Now then, about his Honor's testimony... I believe his line of sight is an important factor. If it's that important, why didn't you hurry up and tell him already? I will, but there's one more thing I need to do if I'm to correct his Honor's testimony. I'm going to need to retrace Detective Gumshoe's movements. I guess I'll press this one since I didn't. Your Honor, did you really go to the men's restroom? What? What is the meaning of that statement? I simply meant that perhaps you went to a restroom on a different floor. I had to go for such a long time. All I could do to dash to the closest one in the courtroom. I suppose that's only natural given his circumstances. I ran from the courtroom through its main lobby and down the hallway. Once you enter, you can see there's a window just above the urinals. Just above the urinals, what? And it was through that window you witnessed Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor. Yes, exactly. Your Honor, there's no need to yell. I can hear you just fine. Oh, I guess I put on a little too much in the last answer. Now, let's continue with the testimony. Wait, that's my testimony. Like, I know that he probably just leaned down because he dropped his Swiss roll, but I don't know if they want me to put that here. I guess we'll just go ahead and try it. Why not? Objection. Okay. This is what they want. What is that finger wag, Mr. Edworth? It looks kind of familiar. And don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone's giving a testimony? Ha! If you truly are a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant. For example, I, myself, never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by. Miles Edworth, it's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life. This is what some people say is the pot calling the kettle black. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me. Apparently I took a picture. What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is the culprit? The party is hereby guilty of all uncleanliness. You must know the bench Solia has already been placed under arrest thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honor. Wasn't leaning? He's kind of tall. I feel like you would at least see his head. Oh, well, that's good. But who was it? We were able to discover something from the smudge on the bench, namely Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints. Not happy with committing this murder, he had to go and dirty the courthouse too. Guilty. Your Honor, please calm down. While it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established his actions related to a double murder. What do you mean? I believe the detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine, and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. Okay. That makes sense to me. Cake crumbs and the pieces of chocolate on the floor under the bench. And Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusions to be true. Oh, I still don't understand. This whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom? It is indeed. The window in the hallway is built rather high up under the wall, and around the grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit Francisco herself was unable to see outside that window. He's going to have to duck. You know, I knew I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. But basically what it means is the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot to the hallway being viewed from the men's restroom. It seems that you have made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window, just wouldn't be able to be seen? I guess they did show us that picture earlier. I didn't even put two and two together. Yes, even as someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight. What? You finally see, Your Honor. Your testimony has just been proven that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway the entire time. Hold it. Ah, sorry. I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. All I want to do is try saying it once. One day, I guess I'll be able to say objection. Here, let me try that again. Hold it! Is there something of value that you'd like to say? Yes, actually there is. I remembered something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time. Even if he overruled him, he'd just keep talking, wouldn't he? That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in the perfect investigation, right? Also, he's kind of the judge. He's the one that decides this. I suppose it's possible you can't see a seat person from this restroom window. However, that doesn't mean the detective was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard a loud bang of a gunshot. Ugh. How was that? That's the testimony of one who judges the crimes of others. Your Honor, would you try to state the important facts first next time? I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn how to judge your own words. I'm sorry, but I honestly thought of sound was just a noise popper until just now. Now that he mentioned it, right before we restarted the trial, I did talk about that. Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating birthday during recess? I could have sworn I heard a popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson, the most critical point in this argument is when did the judge look into the hallway, and whether that lines up when the gun was actually fired. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to clarify a few details of your testimony. What I saw.
Hold it!
As we established, you went to the restroom during the recess. However, at what point in the recess did you look into that hallway? After I called in recess, I handed the change of prosecutor's paperwork. About 20 minutes until we reconvened. Yes, that sounds about right. Just as I suspected. What were you expecting? I demand to know that all knowing smiles for. Your Honor, that statement you made just now is very important. I'd like for you to apprehend it to your testimony. Okay. Alright, if you insist. The judge is very agreeable.
Objection!
Your Honor, I cannot allow you to make an objection. What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection. Egads, I've been overruled in my own courthouse. Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste. What do you mean by that? You claim that you heard the gunshot during the recess, but that is simply not possible. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred von... Ah, bit my tongue. Instead of biting your tongue, I don't know what I said. Eek. I see that you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca. Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back. With your height, you need to stepladder or four to accomplish. Wow, harsh. Also, is it a stepladder or is it a ladder? Mr. Edgeworth, my ears are not that far gone yet, I'll have you know. I can still hear just fine, and I heard the sound of a gunshot loud and clear with my own 2 ears. Huh. Your Honor, I have an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad. And according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. What did you just say? Your Honor, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. How do you explain this glaring contradiction? That can't be. Unfortunately, that is the truth. But I heard it clear as day. Bang! The sound of a gunshot. Sound of a gunshot. We keep returning to this point of contention. The piece of evidence. I always did wonder why I found it where I did. However, now I understand what that gunshot the judge heard really was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what really produced the gunshot you heard.
Take that!
Take that. I found this object in the hallway earlier.
What is that pink substance? It may not look it, but this is actually a piece of a balloon. And I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon to the court record? Your Honor, we don't have that in this game. I was in this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony. I like how they played the jingle. That was really good. Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there is no guarantee the detective was sitting in the bench at that time. Therefore, you'll believe you must have been at the crime scene, defending lobby number 2. Am I correct? Yes, that's exactly right. Let me ask you something. Do you think the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough that even you can figure out the rest on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot. What manner of trickery is this? That was a good effort you put forth, Miles Edgeworth, but if it was me, I'd have wrapped this thing up before the judge even testified. Care to elaborate on that, how one ends something before it even begins? Well, to be honest, I think that the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound. But who could have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this? That is true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with the courthouse. I want to trade these coins with you. That's it. That balloon the girl was holding explains everything. Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy. Who knew? Giving a testimony could be such a difficult thing to do. What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very big apology. I'll see to myself he is released. Wait. There are still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I'd like to request permission to further question Detective Gumshoe. But why? I thought we just cleared his name. Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. One thing I can do for now is to continue my quest to the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway. Very well. Wait, the bailiff just sitting there the whole time just going like, wow. The first time I've seen the judge being, cross-examined. First time for everything, I guess. Please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom. I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation of this case. Where's the bailiff? Private bailiff reporting. Here's Detective Gumshoe, sir.
What's it now, pal? Time for my trial already? Already told you a gazillion times, pal. I didn't do it.
I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe.
No, you won't. I'll be the judge of that.
No. I'm the judge around here, and I'll be the judge of that. They all want a piece of gumshoe.
Why can't you guys be a little less judgmental?
Yes, well, speaking of tasty judgments, Detective Gumshoe, I'm afraid I must apologize in error for my judgment on my part. Your Honor, I don't believe you should apologize just yet. We have yet to prove he is completely innocent of this crime.
Oh, okay.
I guess so.
What are you guys talking about?
In any case, I would like to testify to your actions while you are on guard duty. Please remember you are not on trial. This is just part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony...
Yo! You whipped me before I even gave a testimony. My whip will object loud and clear.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. If you are found to be lying, you will be held indefinitely. Understood?
I got you, pal.
Looking back on the state of the crime scene, the judge's testimony, it's obvious Detective Gumshoe is lying. If I can't break his lie, then we may never get a break in this case.
Like how he's the only one that isn't really looking at you, just kind of looking up. Just, yeah, I guess I'm giving a testimony now. Came down to this courthouse to Detective Bad's orders. There's that guy who ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. That time until I heard the gunshot, I was in that hallway the whole time. On my honor as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal.
He's still singing the same tired tune. In that case, I'll just have to change the melody. I know he's lying. It's time I pull the information I need out of him.
While I was on duty, you know, pal. Came down to his car to Detective Bad's orders, except I didn't really.
Hold it!
You claim to have been in that hallway the whole time. However, is it not a fact that you did something while you were in that hallway?
Of course I did something. I guarded the door to lobby number 2, pal. What else?
Very well then. What exactly does guarding the door entail?
Well, to put it simply, I know. my job to stand in front of the door without moving an inch.
Oh, Detective Gumshoe. You mean to tell me that you didn't take a single step away from the door to lobby number 2? Is that really what you wish to testify the effect of?
You got it, pal. Didn't take a single step away from that door, just like I was ordered not to. Why is everyone so quiet all of a sudden?
Because we are all in shock, and all of your utter stupidity. Scruffy, you're going to lie. At least tell a more believable one.
Ouch! What are you talking about? But I'm not lying.
I should hurry up and bring this insipid testimony to a close.
Then why is your handprint on the bench?
I have an objection.
I could tell by the way you kind of shouted it out at me. What is it, pal?
Detective Gumshoe, I wonder if you might recognize this from somewhere.
Hey, it's one of those things. The courthouse special Swiss rolls, right, pal?
Precisely. In that case, I suppose that you also recall the sullied hallway bench.
Hey, you know what? I think it was probably me that did it.
Detective Gumshoe, you know you can't go around dirtying the courthouse like this. You inconsiderate, slovenly pig.
Yeah, I promise to clean it up later, I swear.
Now then, shall we get to business? About the fact that you didn't move a single step from that door. If that were really the case, then how were you able to buy a pack of Swiss rolls and dirty the bench?
Heck.
Furthermore, if you didn't move a single step from the front of that door, how did you manage to get the bench dirty with your grubby hands?
Ouch.
It appears that Francisca's whip can do more damage than my words alone can.
Alright, I confess, pal. I was hungry, so I bought a pack for myself, okay? Thought I'd get chewed out again if anyone found out about me eating on the job, so I didn't want to say anything.
Well, unfortunately for you, I saw the whole dastardly deed. I saw you buying a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine.
Okay, I'm sorry for lying. That's all I'm sorry for, you got that? Because I'm not holding anything else back.
Something I don't quite believe about it. Are you sure you're not withholding further information from us?
Of course not. I got nothing else to hide, pal.
Objection. I'll if only that were true, Detective Gumshoe.
But it is true, pal, so there's nothing else.
Detective Gumshoe, I'm sure you're aware of the price of a pack of Swiss rolls, correct?
Remind me again, pal.
The vending machine out in the hallway is selling packs of 2 Swiss rolls for $6. And yet, according to you, you didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right? Let me ask then, how did you manage to purchase a pack all by yourself? Can you provide me with a proper explanation to that?
I told you I bought it for myself, pal. Wasn't anything else in the hallway with me. There's no one else who could have helped me buy it. Wait, don't tell me. You got some kind of proof there was someone else in the hallway, don't you?
Correct.
As if you could. I mean, what are the chances of that? Ugh. Crap, it's 100%, isn't it? Wait, you do?
Of course I do.
What? How?
What proof do I have that there must have been someone else there in the hallway? What proof do I have? The balloon, I guess.
Take that!
What the heck is that? Yeah, I knew you didn't really have anything. Prosecutors are all the same, always lying to people. You just stop, you know?
I feel like the balloon would be proof, but I guess the other Swiss roll is also proof. Miles, how long do you plan on being strung along by this moronic detective? I have no intention of falling for his lie because there was definitely a second person. Because he was truly alone all along, that piece of evidence should not exist. The balloon being there. I guess it'd be the Swiss roll.
Take that!
Hey, you showed that to me not 2 seconds ago, pal.
Ah, I think you're under the mistaken impression that I bought this pack of rolls.
Well, you didn't buy it. And that means you must have stolen it, you thief.
What? I would never do such a thing.
Ah, you liars are the same. You start out thieves, you're under arrest, pal.
I believe you meant to assert that all thieves start as liars. And in that case, what does that say about you, detective?
Yeah.
This particular Swiss roll was dropped by a certain someone.
Oh.
There are 2 rolls in this package. You ate one of them, but you gave the other one to a certain other person, didn't you?
No way, pal. You got it all wrong. I ate both of them.
Oh, how'd you dodge me?
It would appear that we've caught you at last. Hey, don't you dare do anything bad to that old girl. Appear that they do know each other after all. Then why did you continue to come up me and kick me? Have I wronged you somehow?
I have a name and it's Kay.
Kay what?
Kay Faraday.
Faraday. Are you perhaps related to... Are you perhaps Mr. Faraday's daughter?
I'm not a you, I'm Kay.
Kay? You know, good little girls don't kick other people. Especially not hard enough to leave big nasty bruises like the way you do.
Well, then you shouldn't have put Gummy under arrest, mister.
Gummy? My guess is that she's talking about Detective Gumshoe.
What a cute nickname you've given him. Gummy didn't do anything wrong.
Yay! Because I need to speak with her a bit in more detail. Rawr. Oh, I guess now we're just kind of here. Francisca, why are you still following me? Alright, let's talk to Kay. Now then, Kay. Whoa.
She's like a stray cat.
I wonder if I should feed her something. Here, have a Swiss roll?
Take that.
Okay, I promise to give you this if you calm down.
Ooh, a Swiss roll.
Gonna eat it like a cat? It really belongs to you, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy.
Oh my. Your father, he's... Ah! Don't you dare say another word, pal! She doesn't know yet!
Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. I overheard the guards talking.
Aw. Daddy's, he's not here anymore. I'm sorry. Sorry I couldn't protect him. Okay. I'm not gonna cry. Not gonna. Aw. Cry. It's alright. Let it all out. Your father just passed away after all. I can relate. I myself was involved in a case with Courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. Or oddly the opposite, in a way. All my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed into fine ash on that nightmarish day. Even now the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. Ever since that incident, I've dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can. And now I have to have this happen right in front of me. This child, I feel a certain shared fate, a common bond between us.
Miles Edgeworth, what sort of gentleman are you? Are you going to just stand there and watch a lady cry?
Ah, you're right. Sorry about that. Okay, here, how about we use this handkerchief here and dry your little eyes?
Quiver.
Honk. No, my cravat! Cravat? Cravat? I don't know. Don't blow your nose on that!
I feel better now. Thanks.
Gumshoe, clean this off. Appears that we've caught you red-handed eating a Swiss roll. Ah, sorry about lying to you, pal. Though technically it's not red-handed. Kind of more like a black or brown sustenance, because, you know, chocolate. And, do you have nothing else to say?
Sure do. It's so fluffy and sweet and big. It's like a perfection, pal. It was worth the $6. Every penny of my bonus.
I see. Well, good for you, detective.
I can't believe it. But when it's almost funny when a fool is this unbelievably foolish.
I'll take that as a compliment, I guess, pal. Okay. Are you going to be alright?
Uh-huh. Yep, I'm already alright.
Somehow, I highly doubt that, but I'm not going to push it.
I promised Daddy I'd never cry in front of strangers.
And you're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You know how to keep your promises, right?
That's right. Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still gonna keep all my promises.
You're a very brave girl, Kay.
You're a very good child for keeping promises you made to your papa. I'll even testify that you didn't cry just for you. Thank you very much, lady. Ha, it's nothing. I'm only telling the truth after all.
It appeared that because her father was a respected prosecutor, Francisca is sympathetic of Kay's feelings.
Hello, Random Weather. How's it going?
Hope you're having a good night. Okay, what kind of person was your father?
Daddy was a hero of justice. His job was to catch all the bad people in the world.
So do you, a prosecutor, as the hero of justice, huh? I suppose we are in a sense as the ones who seek guilty verdicts of criminals.
Plus, you know what? Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolute favorite treat, Swiss rolls.
Oh.
I want to be a hero of justice someday, just like Daddy.
Doing okay. Dealing with a very sad scene, but she's okay. Didn't cry. She's also wearing a belt. That's kind of weird. I think she's gonna try out for Kingdom Hearts later.
So I've been working really hard.
I see. What have you been working on?
I've been working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together.
A promise notebook. May I take a look inside, Kay?
Sure, okay.
Appears to be an exchange diary of sort between father and daughter. Mr. Farty's writing conveys a sense of the kind of man he was. This little notebook might come in handy later. Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. I hope you'll continue to work hard and become a hero just like your father.
I'm gonna try.
Hey, Kay, so I'm a detective that catches bad people, right? Makes me a hero too.
Uh-huh. You're really cool too, Gummy.
Yeah, aren't that, Kay? What's with the two of them? And I hand down verdicts, so that makes me a hero too.
Yes, that makes you a so heroic testimony. You almost paint the detective as a vile criminal and send him off to jail.
Yeah, but it's a belt. I'm really sorry about that.
Gummy's not a bad man, okay?
That poor judge. He's being treated like a vile criminal rather than the hero of justice. It appears that you and Detective Gumshoe are good friends, Kay?
Yeah, we're friends.
In that case, would you mind telling me a little more about him? I guess? Or I take it that you ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier.
Uh-huh. I was on my way to see Daddy when I saw Gummy standing there. He was standing in the hallway staring really hard at the vending machine, so I said hi.
When was this?
Before everything got crazy.
How long are the two of you together?
We only talked for a little while. And then it went on to our own ways.
That's right, Belle. Kay and I only talked for a little while, and that's it. Oh, which means we have now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess, isn't that right? There, you got me.
I told you to stop picking on Gummy, mister.
Very well then. I'll also have to speak with the good detective in private later.
Her little dance is pretty adorable.
Were you the one who brought this pack of Swiss rolls, Kay?
Well, I mean, kinda. I didn't really have a lot of money. I somehow made $1 out with all the pennies and quarters I had. That still wasn't enough, and I really, really wanted one.
Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. That's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct?
A fight and stance dance. Obviously, Sanosuke.
It can be both.
Yeah, thanks a lot for doing that, mister.
Sure. Well, let me ask you, even with that $1, you still didn't have enough, correct?
Well, that's why...
Hey, you're bullet gay anymore, I'm gonna have to arrest you, pal.
I need to remind you that you're the only one already under arrest.
Yeah. I sense that Kay is going to be less forthcoming with this question.
Sorry about your roughly thing.
Yes, well now it's possibly drenched in your nasal mucus. Don't worry, Kay, I have a spare. Oh yeah, you can have this one.
Daddy said never take things from a stranger.
Ah, it's one of the promises you made in your promise notebook, correct?
Yeah, see, look. It's right here on this page. Never take anything from a stranger, never go anywhere with it.
Stranger. Alright then, I'm not giving it to you. I'm merely allowing you to borrow it. You can take it home, wash it nice and clean it, and then give it back to me the next time we meet.
Okay, Daddy never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers. Thanks for finding a loophole. Also, did you just keep a spare in your pocket at all times?
Now then, Detective Gumshoe, ignoring that question. Uh-oh. I believe this is now crystal clear that you were with the little Kay in the hallway.
Yeah, I told you to stop being mean to Gummy.
Hold it.
Miles Edgeworth, there is still something you have yet to resolve.
I beg your pardon.
You still haven't offered an explanation of why that man would lie to us.
That's, well...
I mean, don't tell me you lied for my sake.
Hey, don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be okay. Ah, so that's why.
So what was Detective's motive for lying? Can't explain that. You can't call this a perfect investigation.
His reason for lying is very simple.
What?
Here's what I believe to be his reason. For a simple observation of the detective's action and his interactions with Kay, it's obvious the detective was lying for the young girl's sake. This piece of evidence will show you exactly why. This evidence proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying on account of Kay.
That one. Does their promise notebook say anything? Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Always try your hardest to learn about things you understand. Daddy's job is to make sure everyone follows the rules. Okay? Be a good girl and promise that you'll keep your promises to me, okay? Aw. Yeah, sorry the music gets a little bit slow time to time. Not entirely sure why. I guess the balloon? Why is it still Mysterious Young Girl? I've already got the name. Also, I am super shrinking down on this webcam, I guess.
Take that!
I don't know. This is that piece of evidence. What are you showing me that for? It doesn't seem to add anything to the conversation.
I don't get what you're trying to say with that. Or dude's like showing it off.
Are you gonna give that to me, mister? It kinda is mine. I don't feel that Court needs to enter that core record this time. What is wrong with everyone? Why are they all teasing me all of a sudden? Although it's possible that perhaps I made a mistake, and that's why. Now then, back to the topic at hand. Detective Gumshoe lied for Kay's sake, and I don't hold the evidence from those waiting blah blah blah. Okay, so I guess it is the Swiss roll. I don't know. Swiss roll or the money are the only ones that make sense, but
Take that!
yay. I mean, it could just be that because it's her dad's dead, but I can't present people. Probably should give her that fountain pen. Yep, that's why I'm kind of just going about it instead of just actually thinking about it. Alright, let's see. Let's actually think for a second, not act like a dummy head. Lying on account of... Okay, I mean, I guess it's... The badge? Of course! Badge is engraved with the number of its owner on the back. Numbers, as if we're not human on the inside like everyone else. I did not know they had numbers on the back. This badge is designed instead to reflect the relentlessness and discipline of the law enforcement. It comes from the authority vested in us as strict prosecutors of the law and executors of sentences, much like harsh winter frost and blazing summer days, whereas I identify oneself as a prosecutor. But my mentor has taught me that it's more fashionable to keep it in my pocket. I wonder if he says the same thing in the future. Knife. Guess I'll just guess.
Take that!
You're gonna give that to me, mister? They say this about everything? That's kinda sad.
Take that!
Are you gonna give that to me, mister?
You're gonna give me my dad's dead body. No, not gonna do that.
Take that!
I really don't. I don't know. I'm sorry that I'm not getting it, but it's probably super obvious once I do see it, but I don't really know why else he would lie.
Take that!
I mean, I read it and didn't see anything that would actually point to them, but sure. Okay. No, my things were super obvious when I gave that hint. And honestly, if Reborn would just guess, you guys would already know everything. But that has nothing to do with Gumshoe. Whatever. Mr. Faraday in Kay's promise notebook. How does this explain anything? You can take a look at this page. It's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about the promise, he tried to cover for Kay. What a fool's fool of a foolish reason for a fool. Even though I just said that, I guess. Yeah. Gummy, you lied because of me, didn't you? Because I'm your friend, Kay. That's why. Gummy. At long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now? Guess we're still beating you up, pal. Okay, I'll spill the goods. I've been standing guard for a while. That's why I was going with the Swiss roll and whatnot. Nope. Like, it's not obvious now. The hint is gone for that new emote, but the hints were there. They were all over the place. You guys just didn't really think about it. I was standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry, and that snack vending machine was daunting me. But all the cash you had on was $5. Isn't that enough to buy anything, right? After all, the cheapest item in the machine is the 6 packs of Swiss rolls. I was thinking more of her getting the Swiss roll than making the, you know, don't do anything with strangers or whatever. But whatever. Yeah, then like an angel from heaven, Kay showed up. Except, didn't fly down, kind of walked over. I was thinking about sharing a snack for Daddy. I wanted to buy a Swiss roll. I only had about $1 in coins. So I pulled my 5 and her 1 together and bought a pack of Swiss rolls together. But I was worried about breaking one of my promises. So then Gummy said, Mr. Faraday's one scary guy when he gets mad. Don't worry, not gonna get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you bought it with me. He didn't really get it from me, you know? Told me it'd be okay. He gave me a whole roll to save and give to Daddy. Who knew that Scruffy could be so considerate? Indeed. Detective, I take it that you then sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together. Yeah, just put the other roll and ate it right then. A sweet taste of that cake's chocolate. I'll never forget it as long as I live, pal. Anyway, I believe this also belongs to you. Oh, that's from the balloon I popped. It's about a minute to leave garbage laying around, Kay. I'm sorry, I kinda couldn't reach it. I guess I can't blame you for not throwing this one piece away. It was sitting high up on a windowsill where you couldn't see it. Just this once, I forgive you. That balloon, I wanted to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose. Because of me, Gummy drops his half of the Swiss roll. Now you really got me there, pal. But I thought maybe I should give Gummy this other roll. When I saw you picking on Gummy, mister. So you kicked me, is that it? You sure are a feisty one. I'm really sorry, mister. It's alright, I'm perfectly unharmed except for this bruise on the back of my leg. What about this Swiss roll? Would it be alright with you if I held on to it until Detective Gumshoe was cleared of all charges and free to go? Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay? Of course, I promise.
Now then, I believe we have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway in the entire duration of his duty, which undeniably proves Detective Gumshoe could not have committed the double murders. Objection!
Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown Detective Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime.
What do you mean?
I mean, proves the opposite. Whatever. Faraday had lived? I don't know.
It quite proves the eavesdrop, Miss you.
Jeez. I'm getting lectured on manners by a girl with a penchant for whipping people.
How dare you talk back with such insolence? You're wrong, Lady. Gummy's not the bad guy. Oh, and what have we here? What is this child doing here in the courthouse? Bailiff, please shake this child in.
I don't think she's the murderer. She's like, geez.
This castle, you, that girl is Mr. Faraday's? I know, so what? You think just because she's the victim's daughter, she gets to just run wild around the crime scene? I think it's actually quite dangerous for her to speak nothing but get underfoot.
I suppose you're right. However,
As long as we're in agreement on that point, let's get back to the real issue at hand. Now then, Detective, you were in front of the door of lobby number 2 the entire time, correct?
yeah, but,
You see, isn't that obvious that he could only be the detective? He's the only person who could have gone to lobby number 2 at the time of the murders.
I have no counter-argument to that, except that the girl says, whatever.
Don't worry, I've already put in the necessary paperwork for his formal arrest.
The investigation is far from over.
Oh, that's right. I was going to speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect out in the open without a guard?
I suppose it is. I mean, I have Francisca here.
But as someone with more experience in the law than you, allow me to share something. Always keep a good eye on the criminal. You may regret what comes out of your negligence. Miles, I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you like this. Unforgivable as a disciple of the Von Karma. Down, Tigers. Now then, I'll be looking forward to the results of your investigation.
She didn't take Gumshoe though.
So now we're back to square one.
Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell if we fail to solve this case, Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all circumstantial evidence. Investigation is not over yet. There's still one location we have yet to inspect. This is where Detective Bad and Miss Yu were at the time of the crime scene. Lobby number 1.
Deputy and Mirror Teeth. Oh, why is Bad in here? Is that the judge on that picture? No. It's too realistic.
What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent?
I actually need to get up for a second.
I think I'm gonna get a little bit more water since I have to do this guy's voice.
So I'll be right back. Smells like flowers.
Do we need a chair emote for you guys? You guys need to draw this chair and just surround it in hearts or something. I'll do it. Smells like flowers. Uncle Bad, is this it? Uncle Bad? Isn't that Detective Bad and Kay over there? Looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. Unsurprisingly.
Nah, that's not quite it.
Oh, too bad, but it's so pretty.
I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it.
Yeah, like Greenbird also needs to be an emote. Everything needs to be an emote. Thanks, I'll treasure it always.
Those who seem to get along rather well. Oh, here. I got something else for you.
Yay, thank you, Uncle Bad. Earlier I ate one of these with Gummy.
Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe.
Gummy he was trying to be nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble. Then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy.
Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Okay.
Oh, it's Mr. from before and the lady too.
Don't you think it'd be good idea to go home for the time being?
You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant, so I'm related on the investigation.
Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess.
What? You were just scolding us like kids not to mess up the crime scene. Now you let this child run free, why?
People are free to investigate things outside the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that?
I don't have a problem with that, but I'm curious to why Miss Yu is what Miss Yu. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go somewhere else now, okay?
Alright, I'm counting on you.
Oh, that's right. Hey, mister.
Yes, what is it?
I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy, I mean it. So please, find the real bad guy, okay? Hello, Maestro, how's it going?
I won't forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of a perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there's no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Maybe I should stop monologuing to myself. Television is the same model as the one that defended lobby number 2.
Looks like the two rooms are basically the same in terms of layout and supplies.
Yes, rooms are basically the same, huh? I have to look at the other room. One of the windows in the lobby is open as well. The air conditioner is working just fine in this room, so why did they open it, I wonder? That expensive painting is ill-suited to be hanging on the wall of this room.
I wonder if a guard detail should be placed on it.
Why do you say that?
Well, a desperate, low-paid detective might make off with it someday, you never know.
She may be thinking about hiring a guard, but it's obvious she isn't factoring in the guard's salary whatsoever.
I'm sorry to hear you had a rough day. Hopefully the stream can help relieve that just a little bit. Doing pretty okay, I think. Myself. What an incredibly strong-scented herbal tea.
I feel more people than being relaxing. The scent may make one a bit heady instead. You put a special request for that.
No wonder she's so violent if she's been drinking this stuff the whole time.
Neither woman should be allowed to comment on this particular topic ever. I'm gonna go look at lobby number 2 real quick. Why are the dead bodies still here? Why are you here?
What is it, Edward?
Nothing in particular, however.
He says. You did it again. What is that supposed to be? Your mating call?
Is everything I do humorous to this woman?
Look, Edward, I'm incredibly busy right now. I've got a mountain of things to figure out and check up on. If you want to talk, you're going to have to wait until later, okay?
I'll continue with the investigation then. Are they missing a potted plant? Are they missing Charlie? They are missing Charlie. Huh. Why are they missing Charlie? Well, Charlie Jr. Not actually Charlie.
Hello, Lorax. How's it going? Hope you're having a good night. This decorative plant leaves are shinier than the ones in the plant lobby number 2. That's probably because it's next to the windows where it's easy to photosynthesize. You may be right, plus the curtains are always drawn in lobby number 2. The caretakers of this courthouse don't think enough about the plants, do they? That's because they're the courthouse caretakers, not a bunch of botanists. Alright, let's talk to Bad. Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. Sounds like you'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is that overpowering smell that permeating in this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time with it myself. Didn't think twice and opened up the window. That smell's still here. Perfume, huh? The sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, it's giving off quite the stench. I bet it's some cheap, no-name brand. Is that a Die-High? Weird. You said it's famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff, yes, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it. I was born from a much more expensive and more refined perfume. However, seeing as you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miss Miles Edgeworth, you hold on to this bottle without fail. Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? Now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears, just fantastic. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going to go back to the investigator. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. Let's look at this brand. I wonder if it's a reference. Oh, okay, never mind. Perfume given to Bad by you. Same perfume as the one spilled in lobby number 1. What? Oh, right, this is lobby number 1. Duh. So you were in this room during the entire recess, like I said. I made a call to the printing to get that big lug down here. On the other hand... Right, what? Other than that, I'm apparently adding words that aren't there. I was waiting with recess to end here. At least your story is consistent. Knock something over. Earlier you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. Said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then what you're saying is until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in 2 different locations. Yes I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Oof. Let's see, Miss Yu is the sister of the victim in the KG-8 incident, and as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective of the case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain is simply because you failed to guard CC, or because you were the lead detective in the case. You knew? I also know today's trial involving the Cadopian Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG-8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me, and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday, and the KG-8 incident. You already know that much? I guess it'd be alright to tell you. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG-8 incident. Kinda lavender-like. Sounds nice. I've never really dealt with anyone that actually uses perfume a lot. I think there was one person in high school that would wear a lot of it. Up until the teacher kind of got on her case about it. It's like, I cannot smell while you're wearing that. Just stop. Stop wearing it, please. Or at least don't wear so much.
He wasn't that aggressive about it. He was just like, hey, could you please not wear so much of that? I cannot breathe when you walk by. I don't know if she ever did. Anyways, not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm gonna tell. It's a lollipop. Sanji. The honest truth behind the KG-8 incident. Faraday, you and I, as you already know, we three were involved with the KG-8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trial of the smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries? That trial was just a front. A facade. Yeah. But the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's trials ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. Then what became of her secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Deveray. And to be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Deveray was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat. Boss man of the Amano Group. Can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What was he trying to do by suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would be quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU with Manny Cochin was a completely different person. But since he had already been acquitted of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, CC, I was supposed to protect them. Yes, you did mention that as well. How Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister. But even I, who was supposed to protect them, fell into their trap. What kind of trap? Holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. You mean you were fired upon? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident. I see. Couldn't protect CCU. The suspect was found not guilty. We hit a brick wall as far as the law is concerned. That's when... what? That's when she came to the courtroom, victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. About when you first met Miss Yu. You know her name was Callisto. It was on the day of the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not? Yeah, I could see you getting holes in your tie. Like, you're diving to the side, and, like, your tie would go over to the side and get shot at. You know? I doubt he got shot in the stomach. He'd probably be dead. Or he could have got shot in the stomach, I don't know. Yeah, Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. That's all we could do. But just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. Then she gave a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. I suppose not. You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah. Faraday and I... It says that a lot. Even after the KG-8 incident had come to a close. Continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. Cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. Couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big?
in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was prosecutor and I the lead detective. Took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney.
Alright, well thanks for the 7 bits and the challenge, Loex. Hope you have a good night. And thanks for the good luck. Her client was related to the smuggling ring and she was defending them.
Say. It's been a long day, so I need to head to bed. Good luck with the justicing sabapping.
Sabapping. And remember that sabapping.
Yeah. Yu was pursuing the ring the best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect.
I have my own agenda. I'm still the hunt. Objection. I'm still in the hunt for leads regarding the KGA incident, alright?
And for that you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer?
Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. Why are we flashing back to something that happened like an hour ago?
Whoa.
Well, good luck with that, Maestro. So don't you dare suggest I was going to...
Whoa, I didn't even do that.
It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable.
You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you, and that's how naive you are.
How dare you insult the daughter of Von Karma?
Just like us. Did my lollipop just teleport back into my mouth? That's pretty weird. You felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all.
I'm sorry to hear that, Maestro. The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman.
You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean.
You know, I think Edward really does learn that lesson too.
But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all.
What was your relationship to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well.
I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together.
But you two seem to be made no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case. Did we touch a nerve?
I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. To prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove accusation. I guess I won't be doing either.
Since there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Or perhaps digging into the Yatagarasu is what's necessary. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Which kinda... I don't know. Maybe it's foreshadowing for when Edgeworth finally gets a kid. And... he or she is gonna call Gumshoe Uncle Gummy. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you knew with me?
What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel.
I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking about the Yatagarasu.
What?
KGA incident and the second KGA incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring, and in both these cases, the witness who was testifying in the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ. That's the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarasu, however, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared that Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be a least bit odd? Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already. I believe there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? So in order to catch Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rail's cold-blooded killer, I feel I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu. If it'll help you solve this case, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. I'll do it on purpose now. Ow, why me? It still accidentally whipped me anyway. There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always know the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm a security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind either. I see. Those are the Yatagarasu's special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, would never do something as low-brow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rail wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away. But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodipian embassy, the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu sent the evidence. Till now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. Evidence this time, something only Faraday and I, and the select few others knew about. In that case, how are you so sure that it was the Yatagarasu was in? That's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how it can be so sure. And just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. Just like Master Mask. But when questioned Rail about what was sent along with the white card, Rail had no idea what it was. So that's how Detective Bad knew Mr. Rail was a phony. Darn phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Excuse me, Mr. Edward. Yes? His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there soon. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself. To play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Did we get to play the prosecutor's side? That'd be pretty cool. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edward. Appears that His Honor is still quite dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. Now I have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony. Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict. Francisca, there's no need to further depress His Honor. But I'm not trying to, Miles. Your Honor. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence. Your Honor! Ah! You! Yes, can I help you? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you'd stayed focused long enough to at least do your job? Phoenix isn't here yet. We don't lose until Phoenix shows up. We still got another year or two before he shows up. I would, except that the defense attorney is yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation. So let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rail are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case. Understood, Your Honor. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case, and maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. Place all the evidence at the prosecutor's bench for you.
I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. Do-do-do. Evidence that Miss Yu prepared just sitting here on this table. You know you can't just walk off with it, right? Of course I do. Miss Yu must have been caught off guard by her client's sudden accusation. I wonder how she would have defended Mr. Rail in that case if he was still alive. Evidence related to today's Kodopian Embassy trial. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right? Yes, finally we can now take a look at the evidence itself, not just data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine it while we have the time. Agreed, I want to take a good look at all the evidence from the embassy murder too. And why is that? Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial is about. Whoa. Don't point your crop at me just because you know something. And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today. I see someone so sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. It's all so real to see a knife up close. So we have the knife, a gun, and an envelope. What's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right, I completely forgot to tell you. They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it be passed along to you. He said it would help with the investigation. Detective Bad said that. What a strange stroke of luck. Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. Might as well flip through it too. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny of this evidence bag. The knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought it such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? That foreshadowing that the model out there is going to be used for murder? Never crossed your mind that you use when you... Wait, what? Your mind that you use a writing crop for the wrong purpose? Mr. Faraday's organizer. Appears he was in the habit of using it. Looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rail convicted, didn't he? I've collected the evidence I need to prove Rail the killer. Appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rail was the killer in this case. I'll read through it again. I can't read it when you're talking over it, though. Found the hand going off supports superb clarity on the surveillance video. Also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rail is not the real Yatagarasu. Well, your only witness is the guy you killed, so... I can't prove you did do it. And apparently he also had a very definite piece of evidence. Yes, I believe Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rail may have made about being the real Yatagarasu. And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rail was the guilty party in the embassy murder. But when I was a clue straight from Mr. Faraday, I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read later. Look, there's a picture stuck between the pages here. It appears to be a key. And a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. Craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? Yatagarasu's key? Detective Bad said something about it earlier. What's different about this time was that the evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. The sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian Embassy. Yatagarasu. Yeah, we went back to the past again for some reason. This is before he met Mia. In the first trial. Was that the trial with... Dahlia? I think it was. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret key safe. Was it the one with Dahlia? Oh, that's right. It's for the murder of the other guy. I don't know. I don't remember. It's the prosecutor on the Yatagarasu smuggling ring cases. That's to be expected. Yeah, that guy.
That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer.
That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used in the murder of Mr. Faraday come from? Isn't it obvious? It was brought to the courthouse by Mr. Rell. That's the only logical conclusion, right?
No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors gets checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside.
In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse?
I need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in the Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, the fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. In order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence.
Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me?
Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been holding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. Is it the key? They both look pretty ornate.
Take that!
Take that! The Yatagrasu's key, Mr. Faraday mentions in organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the collar and the ornament of the key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife. Very good. Both the Yatagrasu's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions Yatagrasu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife.
You don't seriously mean to say...
It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say these two pieces are in fact one and the same.
But that's impossible.
Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let us examine the knife in a little more detail. I should probably put on gloves. You know, they didn't let us do this before, but I guess now we actually have it. Huh? This is the weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Handle and the blade itself both have beautiful designs worked into them.
Look, there's even a flower-shaped design in the gold section here.
If this hadn't been used as a tool for murder, I'd want it for myself. She seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad it isn't mine to give. It is a very pretty knife. Whoa.
I can't believe it turned to a key. I think there was such a trick to this thing.
But the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yatagrasu stole. This information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Even that sweet roll. Why is he still holding up his finger? That's a neat little knife, though.
Frankly, I'm shocked.
Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of the piece. Evidence is organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside.
But if that's true, then the only someone who knew about the key to the knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday.
Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew about even more about the key than Mr. Faraday. Meaning that the only person who it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The great thief Yatagarasu.
Then maybe Mr. Rail really was the Yatagarasu, and he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario?
No, not really, especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Real was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier, one question Rail about what was sent along with the white card. Rail had no idea what it was.
I see. Alright then. I guess the person who knows about the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yatagarasu.
Seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. Haha. This gun was originally used to kill the Korean embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Real still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest.
And then this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic.
Indeed. Doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. Okay. This. We took a quick look through these documents before the trial started.
Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it.
I suppose I should explain it to you then.
Yes, you should. Perfectly and in its entirety, if you please.
On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart.
I think he died from being shot in the heart, not from shock.
Mr. Mackerel was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot.
A simpleton of a man, that's what he was.
Perhaps he was, but that weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had.
And Mackerel's to blame. You give Saba Ping a bad name.
Mr. Rell was caught on the act of the film by a security camera.
He was even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice the security camera.
The Kodovian embassy's security system is supposedly very well designed.
He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So have you seen the contents of the video yourself?
Yes, the surveillance video security camera took was played during the trial of Mr. Faraday.
You can clearly identify Mr. Rail on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage includes sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life.
Me neither.
Sad because he sees someone die right in front of him.
That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence, and the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court.
The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
The video showing the moment Mr. Real committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed?
Are you done with your inspection of the evidence?
Yes, I'm finished.
However, Your Honor, I'm missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties?
What? No! I dare not lick my duties! What do you take me for?
No, Your Honor. It was important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me.
But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene.
Maybe the tape is still somewhere in that crime scene. Or maybe it was stolen by the murderer.
There's something wrong here.
Something about this missing piece of evidence appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I have to pay another visit to the crime scene. Defendant lobby number 2. Oh good, they moved the bodies. Who is this guy? He looks important based on his hairstyle. And his, black outfit. That detective's bad. But who was he with? I've never seen that officer before. Oh, it's the wolf guy, isn't it? I thought he was in... I think about his hairstyle.
So, did you find it?
No, not yet. I looked everywhere.
I see. Well then, please continue with the search.
Understood. I'll continue with the search. It took a second, okay? I'm used to him wearing like 4 pairs of sunglasses.
Yeah, so you're the one running this show.
Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed in crime scenes.
How dare you? Just who do you think you are?
Alright, well bye. What was that all about? And who was that man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Quiet. Even know that we're standing right behind him. He has a mirror, so I assume so.
I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids?
Looks like you were paying attention after all.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head, considering I have a mirror in front of me sometimes.
Ah, so that mirror isn't just for vanity's sake. For him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. So to tell me, Detective Bat, who was that rude man just now?
The guy that came here for Republic of Zing 5 to study. He's Agent Lang. Conveniently, you'll meet him in the future.
He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. Traveling the world to study different philosophies of attainment from scratch. By visiting various places, the police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy is more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. I don't know if that's saying much. It is Gumshoe. Gumshoe only comes through when all the chips are down. He comes through in a big way, but otherwise he kind of just gets in our way. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree. However, I can think of one young lady this statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was Pokemon Lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that has nothing to do with me. Fine, this is the game we must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in the room straight from him. I wonder if the killer used this plastic bag as a flash of inspiration. With that detective, I somehow doubt he's that quick-witted. So you're saying the crime was thought out in advance? With that detective, I somehow doubt he's capable of making such a complex plan. Francisca, when will you learn to take responsibility for your statements? What's this? This table here all along. I suppose so. Objection! Well, clearly it's out of place. When you take the sofa into consideration, the table is much too tall. I get the impression these two are not meant to be used as a set, Francisca. I knew that. Seems she's lacks a calm sense of judgment in her eagerness to defeat me. Is the video in here? It has one tiny TV. It's actually pretty big. Detective Gumshoe was rather shocked by this and said it was a huge compared to his own. Ha! Anything compared with something he owns will always seem grand to examine. If read orders, I'd say that eager viewers could use a little deflating. Whoa! I can stand right beside her. So, how's it going? Am I a little bit too close? Well, too bad. Talk right here. Earlier you were in Lobby 1, now you're in Lobby 2. You're a quite busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy, you'll see, I will draw my answer from you one way or another. Would it kill you to help even a tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's helping up, don't you think? Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime. I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? Things you don't know about, but aren't you supposed to know everything? You should. Wait, is that possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. I should try showing it to him. It proved to be the key of getting some answers from Detective Bad. Okay. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of this item in the photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same? What? That's impossible. It looks like he didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning on using the Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Real was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea this was, in fact, a knife. Yeah, I hate to admit it, neither of us knew that fact. Neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How'd we miss something as big as this? Also, my lollipop teleported again. I noticed that since a little while ago you appear to be searching for something. I assume this key is what you were searching for? Yeah, that's right. Why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. Promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought? He was what took Faraday's life. Detective Bad. So that we must find the truth, please testify to me once more. Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Time of the murder. Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more. Yeah, he just said he would. My answer's still the same. And this is... last time I'm gonna do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up. And find the truth behind this case. Det Bad. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. She insulted me a couple times. I heard a gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed to the hallway together. It's all gumshoe goofing around there, and we all ran to lobby number 2. Sounds like the exact same story you told us before. Indeed. However, I feel we've yet to draw out all the information that we can.
Hold it!
Why did Miss Yu choose lobby number 1? Answer me. Who knows? She just said that she had something she wanted to talk to me about. And we walked into lobby number 1 together. That's all. His answer remains the same as before, I see.
Hold it!
Hold it. I was hoping you could explain exactly what you were discussing with Miss Yu. Trivial stuff. It was nothing important. That's for me to decide. Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then. Good job, Edgeworth.
Hold it!
Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. The gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder. I want to give the other piece of evidence the entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. I'm guessing it's the balloon popping. I'll press this one. Detective Bad, you honestly don't remember hearing anything else? Yeah. Is it possible you were so involved in your conversation that you missed something? I've been a detective for a long time, and even if I were involved in something, I've got quite a habit of keeping tabs on everything that goes on around me. If there had been some other strange sound, you can be sure I would have heard it. Suppose with this detective, that's probably very likely. So the gunshot.
Objection!
Okay. Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about the girl's balloon? Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her. Well, as you may have already surmised, the piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh? So the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, his honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that his honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in the lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So? Don't give me a so. We just proved that there is a flaw in your testimony. Crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivety cracking. Since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. You ever stop to think why doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? Because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. What is that supposed to mean? Doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. Top it all off, even the curtains are made of special sound-absorbing material. Then you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound.
Knew that's what he was trying to say. Then that means the scruff's face testimony is completely useless. The room's a soundproof, and of course he wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle. That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. How do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic, not the other way around. The other way around? It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping in lobby number 1. However, we examine the situation in reverse. The person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. Yet Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bat, if that were the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did you hear the sound of the gunshot into your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it for Faraday's murder than I thought. Whoa. Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? It boils down to this. There must be a reason. As to how Detective Bat and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have. Looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? State of the crime scene? Wait, can it be? It's that ultra-strong perfume. She spilled some of it. Logically, simply not possible for the killer to escape through that barred windows, and yet for the fragrance of perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. Piecing everything together. Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. Except he's not. I guess that's true. I was moving a step too ahead. Now then, what else besides the smell can go through in and out of open barred window? The answer is sound. No matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both the defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. The missing piece of evidence in the video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rail killed the embassy staff member. The sound of a gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess, and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, it is possible the tape is still in here in this room. Eureka! Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for is the gunshot sound that no one else should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? Your head keeps exploding. Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again. Not a waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should look. And where would that be? I believe we should examine the television. The TV. Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you'd like. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. The video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. This tape. Could it not be our missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but... Detective Bat, would be alright if you verify the contents of this video. Sure, knock yourself out. Alright, let's rewind and see what we have. Whoa, that's a sound. Thank you for the 7-month subscription, Gob. And also, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Let the sound just sit here for a second.
If I remember correctly, footage of Rail killing the embassy staff member should be about 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see. Bang! Yeah, this is at work. Well, thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a good time at work. This is the footage of Mr. Rail shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. Missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video was here all along. This sound. What's the meaning of this? The Detective Bad had figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. This, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean that you figured it all out then? Yes, all I have to do now is show what gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. And through where they heard it from. I won't rest the times. Okay, whatever. Deuce. Eureka! If the door and the windows of the crime scene, namely in this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser. That is true. The courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot. Well, the windows in lobby number 1, 2, and the hallway were open, so naturally the people in this location could hear it. Ah, but then why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. The only logical conclusion we can draw from this, but why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I believe the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of? When the crime took place. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to the precise wishes, and they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running. You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means that the murders really occurred earlier than time than we thought. Must have been during the recess before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. There. Strength returns. So it is Miss Yu, huh? Mr. Edward. Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. Said she's identified the murderer, but she wants to clarify something. Looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. Oh, come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. To be continued. I could go on a cliffhanger right here. Would be a good time for it. Took a while to save. Check something real. We have been live for 3 hours. This probably would be the best time to stop. And we can continue it off later. A little sad we got hit twice there, though. Uh-oh. I guess it depends. Is this part really gonna be super short? Hi, I'm Kay. Kay, what are you doing here? Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. Alright, we'll finish it. Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. But the object you're looking for is already... Hold it. Okay. Don't mind him.
Please continue with your investigation.
Okay. You got it.
Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for? It means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer. Any little task will do.
You're more sympathetic than I thought.
I just goes and stands over there. Why are we walking behind the prosecutor's bench?
I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth.
I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment which you can finally lay this case to rest? Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already. Don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we have a viewer in the gallery. Why even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander.
I have a duty. See this case through to the end. No matter how it turns out.
Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken the statements of every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. Also confirmed that there's no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must, without a doubt, be Detective Gumshoe.
That's all you have?
Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion and this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ.
In a trial, there's always time for rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think?
How absolutely rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony.
If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is prove it by showing who the real killer is.
I'm kind of sad she's not facing to the right. But I guess we are on the left side. It would be a nice little callback to Phoenix always being on that side. Everyone sans the suspect has an alibi when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? Also confirmed that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2. Leaves us one unshakable conclusion that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Phew. Now I have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth.
But of course, no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump card she has up her sleeve.
It does have really long sleeves.
Hold it!
The suspect, but I thought Detective Gumshoe's alibi was already proven.
Are you joking, Edgeworth?
I assure you this is no joke.
Look, I know you heard it from the judge earlier. The detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll.
Yes, that is correct.
But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? Problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the stacking.
See, she's done her research well.
Means I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding.
Hold it!
Whether they have been proven thoroughly...
Why is Francisca behind us? She was standing on that side.
Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide.
Scrunched eyebrows and the lines on your forehead are back. Anyway, if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive. Exhaustive? The crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. All because he claimed to be there. That makes him the only possible suspect.
But is it also possible that someone escaped through the window into the garden?
Now, even you know that's not true. But I guess he is trying to bait things out. That's the first place everyone looks, silly. These aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They look at every possibility, you know? I don't know. They are kind of lazy sometimes. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad?
Hey, guess I'm here too. Yeah, that's right. I don't know why I walked all the way over here when I was in the middle of the scene. They could have easily just, panned it over there and, saved a lot of time and money, I bet. One of the scrap of evidence says someone used one of the windows, though. Also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden.
Suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case. Also confirmed there's no possible escape route from lobby number 2.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely positive there's no possible routes of escape? Of course I'm sure.
And why are you so certain?
There was this courtroom, a place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there were an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. I mean, they wouldn't know about it, but this is just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Ow, why?
Hold it!
Hold it. You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. Suppose we really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisco or myself speaking with you about the subject. But they're witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess. And was stopped by a security guard at the door of the hallway. Gave him quite the whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma. I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or by a bailiff or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? Whatever. By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibi before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to the guard? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went to lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot, to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived at the scene was when we dashed from lobby number 1. The only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Let's talk about you and Detective Bad heard the gunshot, shall we? Suppose if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe was the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time? Entirely different time when the gunshot you heard went off. What then? Gunshot was a trapment to manipulate our perception of when the crime. Objection. Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. Gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Can you explain how that could have been fabricated? Okay.
Take that!
Take that! That tape? Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is a surveillance tape that Mr. Real, the prosecution, presented in today's trial. Of Mr. Real. Whatever. I'm reading too fast, I think. This was found and loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. It was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video. Ah, but I do. Which leads me to my next. The murders occurred much earlier than everyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing the double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television volume all the way up, and left the video on to play. If it played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we know about the method of time manipulation is possible, it opened the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Objection! Sounds like the television don't amount to much here. But of course Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We knew about the soundproof quality of this courthouse rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right. If the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's it. End of story. But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof? There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2 and the hallway. Is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window is open in each. Why does she keep doing her makeup? Now we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, window in lobby number 1 was also open. Objection! It's probably just a coincidence that they were both open at the same time. Objection! I was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window open in lobby number 1? After that certain person did something to cause the window to be open. The person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is... Callisto Yu.
Take that!
Miss Callisto Yu, I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. What? You indict me? Did you just bite her lipstick? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she's the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious, because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you feel like laughing now? Of course I do, Edgeworth. My argument was not to be tight enough yet, although I never thought things would spiral into this. Have you know I am enjoying this dance quite a bit. Guess this means it's time for my unrebutable now, correct? It's Yu's room. You argue that the window was open, however, do you have any proof it was I who did that? This guy's testimony, I guess. Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked you were going to accusing people of murder like this. I don't hear that from you, especially with logic as full of holes as yours. This is where the really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now it's time to put the planned Von Karma perfect proof to the test. Only Phoenix was here. Phoenix would have got this already. Well, probably not. Evidence. All I need to do is have some prints analyzed and we'll know straight away. Huh. Be my guest. It sounds as though she's already in maneuver, which means, even if we were able to lift prints, they'd only show that someone else, but why is that someone else forced to open the window? That's simple logic. Why don't I try presenting that piece of evidence? I have nothing to lose. What's wrong? Your scrunched eyebrows lined to your forehead, they're all back. More importantly, are you going to be okay not running a fingerprint analysis? Yes, I'll be fine. Oh, well in that case, I'll just continue with my testimony, alright? I guess I'll just present this here. I feel like I should probably press other things though.
Objection!
Yeah, well. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu? Yeah, Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know. This isn't mine, it's yours. That's right, it's mine, and I received it from the Detective Bad, you see. Miss Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. That is, this bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you. Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. He's right, I did say that. Oh, I know. You also know if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window. Objection. Come now, I've already told you that's just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know. Maybe it was just a dumb luck that he heard the gunshot through the window. Objection. Timing when you were going to spill the perfume was something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at that time. You mean... It's you were the one who called Detective Bad in lobby number 1, when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's preliminary events could only have been thought up by you, Miss Yu! Did? Oh, she doesn't bite it, she scrapes it across her face. You accused me of murder on the fact I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really, but I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Why couldn't he be? Accusing someone of murder over spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. Well, we have worse. But I suppose the forgery of evidence is to be expected from a disciple of Von Karma. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony is flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. If I'm lacking information, I'll just draw it out of her. Not perfect at all. I want to see what Francisca says to this. I formally request you desist in your attack against my mentor.
Yes, we'll sue you for defamation.
Welcome back with popcorn.
All I'm doing is telling the truth. Maybe more like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire.
How dare you say such a thing? Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you.
Oh, why'd you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue?
Hold it!
Why? And why exactly could you not have killed him?
I was just about to testify that. You're such an impatient man. I'm not really that into you, you know, Edward.
Your preferences have no bearing on what is at hand.
Feeling a little uncomfortable, are we?
Objection!
Objection. Miss Yu, you will desist in this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy.
Ahem. Sorry. Miss Yu, please continue with testimony.
Sure. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday.
Hold it!
At this rate, she will inevitably escape. If she really wasn't the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu, maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag.
Miles, what do you think you're doing?
I'm drawing the truth out of it, that's what I'm doing.
Huh? But I don't recall a knife being present at the trial earlier today.
Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use.
So that's what you're going to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Only evidence he had yet to present was the key to the Yatagarasu had said. Unless the key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. You really think you could trap me? Come on, be honest.
I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you said to your testimony.
Sure, why not? I'll even say as many times as you want. Whoa, that's a typo. They have two eyes there.
Interesting.
Objection!
Objection. Wave my finger. Miss Yu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key Yatagarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, I think I did this exact same thing, where you could have presented the picture, I'm guessing, but I keep presenting the knife. In fact, it is, in fact, has a secret ability to transform into a knife, which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You know the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not?
Yes.
Well, then with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yatagarasu's key.
Objection. Let me clean my face off for the third time and, you know, straighten up my eyeliner. Lipstick. I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know.
You would, even now, still feign ignorance?
I'm not feigning anything. We can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence now, can we? This being Mr. Von Karma. I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa?
Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. I'll take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real.
Wow, who knew there was such a trick to this thing?
Are you satisfied now? You just gave her a knife, though. Of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew the knife and Yatagarasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement, and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, that's something the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How would you have knowledge that what it was?
Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rail off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. No, he didn't. He didn't tell me about how the key actually transformed.
Objection! What you are saying is simply not possible.
Oh, and why not?
Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within that key. With these pages, he mentions nothing about a knife.
Objection. I'm not sure he would have written everything in Organizer, you know? Wouldn't something of his importance be better left to oral communication?
Objection. Unfortunately, that is also impossible, because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information even within the police force? And this is something even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh? How can you laugh at a time like this? Because you gave her a knife, probably. She just realized a flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. That's not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. Miss Yu, I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of the knife. Do you now? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. One with the truth, the secret behind the Yatagarasu's key. Only one person would have had the knowledge from the get-go. Who would know that the starch Yatagarasu's key could change into a knife? Yatagarasu, obviously. There was only one person who would have known the dual nature of the key. And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key in the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu? Miss Yu, you used Mr. Real to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You who profess to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why do something like this? It's not funny. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? Sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill. It's even greater than when I sneak into someplace. You killed Faraday. Why? Answer me, Callisto Yu. Callisto Yu, huh? That's not my real name, is she Cece? My real identity is yes, the great thief, Yatagarasu. Or she's just Yatagarasu, that'd be fun. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rail an offer, an acquittal for the little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being Yatagarasu in court. Once we entered the recess, Rail was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan to complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through the crack in the door. That Rail caved only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held onto the Rail any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But didn't you just say you despise criminals? But do I really? You. Have you forgotten about the KG8 incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would... So then it was your plan to kill Mr. Faraday, the very evidence you sent. Well, I had a good idea what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rail wasn't Yatagarasu by using the Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. This is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 with the pretext I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. In order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. Let me hold the Yatagarasu's key, just like that. Never noticed that I changed the key into a knife inside the plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rail as well. I believe I mentioned why we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness. Wait, did you mention that? I don't recall that. And how that led to the killer. Think about setting him up as though they had killed each other. The trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. Risk was too high to be caught. That's why I remember the existence of that surveillance tape. I had Rail help me set up the crime scene. After all was said and done, I reward him with his hard work with a bullet. You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you betray a client?
Client? You want to talk about who was a client to who first? It was me. I was the client in the murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member Deadman.
You ordered a hit job?
You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Deadman killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination?
It can't be. You're...
That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring.
What? How could this? You don't mean...
This guy's sweating up a storm. You're working with the Manny Kocha, do you? Maybe, maybe not. Guess you'll never know. Yatagrasu claims to be a noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. Yatagrasu was just another killer.
Be quiet, you. Yatagarasu. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. You just humbly accept the judgment of this court.
Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know the Yatagrasu has 3 legs? You know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagrasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do their work. Oh, no. You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handled the Yatagrasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it.
Okay, so has his hands in his pocket.
You mean the key was your real target? And even after I gave you such a great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on the criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence.
You two, get down! My body, I can't move.
Hey, mister, to your right.
You...
I'm out of here. Edgeworth. Oh, you're okay.
Are you okay?
Are you alright, Francisca? I'm perfectly fine, Miles.
Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go? That's a gunshot. September 10th, 7 p.m. Court.
Get her?
Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. Need to have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bat, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket.
I'd say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken.
More importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you two hurt?
I'm absolutely fine.
I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she?
Thanks for the host, Lance. I don't know. She sort of just disappeared.
Go look for her.
Hope you're doing okay, Lance. Why are we being ambushed?
Oh, hey, Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir. What's up, pal? Detective Bad, sir.
I'm sorry I doubted you.
Don't worry, sir. Not your fault. I have the feeling it's gonna happen a lot, to be honest. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all.
I heard about what happened from Kay.
Lying while giving testimony is unforgivable.
But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you might have what it takes to be a real detective.
Thanks, pal.
Don't you ever lose that detective spirit, alright?
You got it, Pops. Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we?
Wait,
did you single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere in one snarky comment?
I should get back to the investigation. I swear I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bat, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday.
See you later, sir. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find the truth behind everything.
Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to the prison.
Can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe.
That's no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor.
Well, even if we didn't have his honest testimony, I think the lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf.
Yeah, can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as detective.
Well, as long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me.
You did? Oh, what is it?
What was it that Kay left for me? Proof of their friendship. A gun. No. It's a Swiss roll.
Take that!
It's a courthouse special Swiss roll. Can I really have it?
Yes, it's a present meant for you, after all.
Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. Gonna eat this right now.
Sure, go ahead. This roll's Detective Gumshoe and Kay brought together. While the one case saved never reached her father, it would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective.
He's so happy, it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own.
I was asked by Kay to give it to him.
Whoop, that was good, pal. Can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. Like I'm Swiss roll paradise or something. Gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait. Where is she?
You only noticed just now? Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad just left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him.
Yeah, you betcha, pal. Gotta go help him. Oh, but first... You know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edwards, sir.
I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement.
We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa.
Agreed. I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective.
Roger, sir. Don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well.
I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely up in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, I became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. Nothing I can do about it. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now right in front of me.
So, do you remember me now?
Yes, I remember everything. Okay, it's been a while.
Yay, sure grew up a lot.
Of course, but thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me.
You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where were you been all this time? How's the stream been going? I think it's been going okay.
Hey, Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They're really far away, so I wasn't able to come back here that much.
How's that what happened? Well, I was glad you're alright.
I mean, don't make sense now?
You betcha it does.
Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and...
Hold it. Actually, there's still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay.
Huh?
First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? Second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu's Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father.
No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father.
Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu.
Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and I found a secret diary hidden amongst his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure.
But that's impossible.
What's with that look? You don't believe me?
Well, it wasn't just an expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now.
Alright then, how do you explain this?
It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing.
Yep, that's the little thief. Truth be told, it's Yatagarasu's greatest secret. This little gizmo was used by my father.
Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't the great prosecutor, he was also the great thief, huh?
Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. Then he was killed. And the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, Yatagarasu's been spotted again recently.
Someone other than you?
Here, Mr. Edworth. Take a look at this article.
Yatagarasu sent the embassy calling me.
Yeah, with me and this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady is behind this, because the real Yatagarasu would never do something like a gaudy card out.
But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Badges told me 7 years ago, if memory serves.
Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. If anyone could help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edworth.
So you're saying that I have your father and Miss Yu's identities backwards?
Yeah, because the real Yatagarasu is a noble to the end. I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace.
Okay.
Yay! You're so honorable! I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal.
Even if you are honorable, the thief is a thief. And if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't comply.
Mr. Edworth, aw, you guys are making it not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the rest of that evil woman.
That evil woman. You mean Callisto Yu?
I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself, but I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe. Please, Mr. Edworth, won't you help me?
Alright. Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Huh?
Owe me for what? When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I'm not so rude as leave favors unrepaid.
Then you mean...
Yes, the case has been weighing down on my soul ever since that fateful day. Now's the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you.
Thank you, Mr. Edworth.
Yeah, Mr. Edworth, sir. Isn't that great, Gay?
It sure is, Gummy.
Even though we had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is with their chummy relationship? Great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Barn Faraday, Callisto Yu, and K Faraday. That's a long word. Benjamin last to be the changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu, and the Yatagarasu's real goal. It all come to light at the day after I made that promise to Kay. The end. Why was the other one called Middle? I'm not really sure. Turnabout ablaze.
Something's gonna get set on fire. And I think that's where we're gonna call it. Because now it's like 1:30. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Hope you all had a good time with our great investigation. I got hit 2 times. I got hit twice, I guess. But anyways, have a good night, Lance, and everybody else. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and I'm going to check one thing before we stop. Nope. I was going to see if the video was accepted yet, but I have not gotten a thing that says they accepted it. So probably tomorrow. They were probably all asleep. It was pretty late. Anyways, we're going to go host Kieran. So, I'm sure most of you guys are already watching him, but let's go and show him a good time. I don't think we're going to raid because I'm not good at that, but I will at least press the raid button, Also save that just so, absolute proof I'm going to save here just in case the thing gets erased again. Anyways, I'm going to raid Lord Moonstone and hope you all have a good night.